and welcome in. Today I'm going to tell you how to connect your Apollo Twin to your computer with a Thunderbolt adapter. Tell you which twins need an adapter, what adapter to buy for Mac, and which one to buy for Windows. And also other system requirements you want to be aware of. All this and more. Let's dive in. For those of you who are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and bell notification so you don't miss out on future videos just like this. So some housekeeping items first. If we come down here to the Mac OS requirements, you're going to want a Mac that's got a Thunderbolt port, either 1, 2, 3, or 4 port. You want the latest software, although you can go back as far as Big Sur 11. And if you have a Mac with a Thunderbolt 1 or 2 port, you need an adapter. For our Windows requirements, it needs to have a Thunderbolt 3 or 4 port. It needs to be a Windows 10 or 11 machine with an Intel or AMD CPU. For those of you looking for a new Apollo Twin, there's this new Apollo Twin X Duo with Thunderbolt 3 connectivity for around $1,200. Link in my description. And for those of you in the market for a new Mac, there's this MacBook Pro with the M1 Pro chip with 16 gigs of RAM and a terabyte of storage for around $2,000. Link also in my description. I want to talk about Thunderbolt adapters here for a moment. If you have the Apollo Twin Silver or the Apollo Twin MK2, these have Thunderbolt 2 ports. So if you have a Mac with a Thunderbolt 3 or 4 port, we're going to use an Apple Thunderbolt 3 to 2 adapter. And if you have a Windows computer with a Thunderbolt 3 port, then we're going to use a StarTech Thunderbolt 3 to 2 adapter. Keep in mind though, if your Windows system has Thunderbolt 4 ports, it's not going to work with a Thunderbolt 2 device, even with an adapter. And here's an example of what the Apple Thunderbolt 3 to 2 adapter looks like. This is a picture of the box. One end goes to Thunderbolt 2 cable, and the other one is a Thunderbolt 3 connection. Now let's take a closer look at that connection. On the back of the Apollo Twin, we'll see the Thunderbolt 2 cable connects to the Thunderbolt port on the back of the Twin, which is marked with a zigzag arrow icon. And then, if we come around to the computer side, we can see we have an Apple Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt 2 adapter that plugs into my MacBook, and the Thunderbolt 2 cable goes into the adapter. If you're in need of one of these, link in my description. And then for Windows, we have the StarTech adapter, which is also Thunderbolt 3 to 2, with the Thunderbolt 3 side going to your Windows computer, and the Thunderbolt 2 side going to your Apollo Twin. Link also in my description if you need one of these. Let's take a look at what cables required for our Apollo Twin. If we're using the Apollo Twin Gen 1 or Gen 2, that's a Thunderbolt 3 device. So if our Mac has a Thunderbolt 1 or 2 connection, we'll use a Thunderbolt 2 cable with an Apple Thunderbolt 2 to 3 adapter. And then if we have an Apollo desktop with a Thunderbolt 2 connection, and a newer Mac with Thunderbolt 3, 4, 5 port, once again we'll use a Thunderbolt 2 cable and an Apple Thunderbolt 2 to 3 adapter. And if we have a Windows computer with Thunderbolt 3 port, that's right, Thunderbolt 3, not 4, we can use a StarTech Thunderbolt 2 to 3 adapter and a Thunderbolt 2 cable. Let's go over some guidelines regarding the cable we want to use with our Twin. We already touched on the system requirements, but we have some other notes here. We want to use a cable that's 6.6 feet in length or shorter for best performance and connection stability. And then you want to go with a cable from a good manufacturer. So you want to try to stay away from cheap knockoff brands. Personally, I'd go with Apple, but you can also go with something from Cable Matters or StarTech. These are all reputable brands. They'll provide a good cable for you that should work with your Twin. If you want to solve issues like allowing UA software, set up security policy for Mac, and troubleshooting console, check out this video now. And if you got value out of this video, hit the subscribe button and bell notification. Thanks for watching, and see you there.